Welcome to Astro Tina. This is your personal year 7 yearly and monthly horoscope for the year of 2026. Now, personal year 7 brings a deeper, more introspective energy. After the dynamic and sometimes chaotic years of personal year 5 and 6, this year calls for a time of reflection, self-discovery, and spiritual growth. This is a spiritual year, one that asks you to turn inwards and connect with your higher self. The focus is less on external achievements and more on internal developments. So expect a period of quiet introspection where you feel drawn to explore your spiritual beliefs, life's purpose, and personal truths. The lesson of personal year 7 often comes through a sense of detachment, disconnection from the material world, as you seek a more deeper sense of the meaning of life. Now let's look at every area of your life, beginning with love and relationships. For those of you who are single, in personal year 7, love may take a backseat to your spiritual journey. You may find yourself less interested in casual relationships and more focused on inner world. If you're engaged with someone, the connection is likely to feel deeply spiritual or intellectual, as you seek a partner who can understand and appreciate your need for personal growth and introspection. Now, if you're already in a relationship, then relationships may feel like they require a lot of space and a lot of reflection this year. You may want to take time alone to process emotions or focus on your personal goals. While this can sometimes create distance, it can also allow you more personal growth and a deeper understanding of what you need from your partner. Now, something to avoid is withdrawing. So avoid withdrawing so much that you neglect your partner's needs, because healthy communication is definitely a key in this year. Now looking at career and purpose. In your career, personal year 7 encourages you to take a step back and evaluate your current path. It's a year to reflect on whether your work aligns with your true calling and your spiritual goals. You may feel like you're on a bit of a lull, but this is a necessary pause for your growth. This isn't necessarily the year to make bold career moves or to take on new projects. Rather, it's a time to reassess your old long-term career goals and ask yourself if your job is fulfilling on a deeper level. This could involve spiritual or educational paths as well, or a move into a field that feels more meaningful to you. So I would say focus on personal development, learning new skills, taking courses, or engaging in spiritual practices that enhance your sense of purpose. Now let's look at money and finances. Finances in personal year 7 are best managed with a slow, steady approach. This year is not about making big financial moves, but rather protecting and maintaining what you have. You may find that material pursuits are less important this year, and your energy shifts towards spiritual fulfillment or personal growth rather than financial gain. You may feel a desire to simplify your life, cutting back on unnecessary spending in favor of investing in personal growth or spiritual endeavors. So avoid the temptation to make risky investments or to chase any quick wealth. And a word of caution would be to resist the urge to neglect any personal matters because balance is important. Now looking at health and vitality. In personal year 7, mental health and spiritual well-being are just as important as physical health. You may feel the need to retreat and spend more time alone to recharge. It's a great time for mindful meditation and other practices that center your mind and your soul. Now, physically, you may feel a bit more sensitive than usual, and it's important to prioritize rest and mental relaxation. Now, if you've been dealing with any kind of chronic conditions, you may find that introspection and slowing down can lead to healing. Now, best practices would be to engage in spiritual or calming activities like yoga, journaling, or nature walks to find balance. Now, let's look at spirituality and inner growth. Now, personal year 7 is a spiritual year at its core. So you're likely to feel a strong pull towards inner reflection, soul searching, and discovering deeper truths about your life. Now, this is a time for self-discovery and awakening. So expect to be more drawn to anything that's mystical, anything that's spiritual. and philosophical pursuits. You may even begin to question old beliefs or to feel a desire to explore new spiritual practices that resonate more deeply with your evolving sense of self. Now, I would say that your best mantra would be I trust the wisdom within and open my heart to deeper truths. Now let's look at family and home life. In personal year 7, you might find yourself needing more space from your family or your home life. Now, this is not because you don't care, but because you need time to reflect, recharge, and reconnect with your inner self. Now, if there's tension in the family, in the relationships, it may be related to personal need for space to heal and to grow. Now, while family and home are important, this year calls for personal boundaries. So it's okay to take a step back if you need to, and your family may need to understand your need for time alone. What I would caution against is don't isolate yourself to the point of disconnection. So stay engaged with your loved ones, but allow yourself the time to reflect. Now let's look at friends and social life. Your social life in personal year 7 is likely to be much quieter. So you may feel more introverted or selective about who you're spending time with, seeking intellectual or spiritual connections rather than superficial relationships. Friendships that foster deep, meaningful conversations will thrive. However, you may feel a desire to withdraw from social events that may feel draining or unauthentic to you. So trust your instincts about who truly supports your growth. Now let's look at personal development. Personal year 7 is a time for deep personal development. You're on a journey of spiritual awakening, self discovery, and inner growth. It's less about what you accomplish on the outside and more about what's happening on the inside. This year invites you to peel back the layers of your personality, your past, and your spiritual beliefs through self reflection, journaling, or therapy. You can uncover hidden truths, and that will help you evolve into your true self. And a really good affirmation would be I embrace my inner journey, trusting that the path will reveal my purpose. So now let's look at the months individually. So January is all about power and practical decisions. Though you're in a spiritual year, January brings a material focus. Making financial decisions wisely would be in your benefit. You may feel tension between outer achievement and inner calm, so balance is important here. Moving on to February, which is emotional closure and healing. This is a time of letting go of old stories, old guilts, or relationships that no longer align with who you are now. It is a tender, intuitive month, so compassion for yourself is definitely key. Moving on to March. March is all about new spiritual paths or solo projects. So you'll get a burst of new energy which arrives in the month of March. So you might start a creative or a self-study pursuit or feel more motivated to develop your intuition. So trust your gut, new insights are emerging. April's all about soul bonds and quiet support. It's spiritually a sensitive month. So connections will deepen, not through noise, but through presence and empathy. Let your relationships soften you, not distract you. In May, the theme is expression through creativity or teaching. So you're invited to speak, write, or share your knowledge. Use your introspective gifts to inspire others, even if you prefer staying behind the scenes. June. June is all about building inner strength, inner structure, and trusting the process. This month grounds you. It creates daily habits that support your mental health, your study, and spiritual practices. So build a container for your growth. It's not glamorous, but it's sacred. So it's a very important month for you. Now, July. July is all about inner change and mental breakthroughs. So the most dynamic month of the year, you might feel restless or even seek freedom. Even if you're on a solo trip, new ideas, shift in your mindset. Allow movement without scattering your energies, because this is a month of change. Now, August. August is all about emotional responsibilities and love as a mirror. So relationships ask for your attention, especially family or romantic ones. You're learning how to care without codependency. Now, compassion meets boundaries this month. Now, let's look at September. September is all about soul peak and clarity and solitude. This is your core 7 month in your 7 year cycle. So, a time for deep spiritual insight, meditation, therapy, dream work, or nature retreats are very powerful now. The answers you're seeking do arrive. October. October is all about real world results from inner work. So you may see tangible outcomes from quiet effort. Whether it's in business or healing, use your intuition as your compass and trust that aligned action will bear fruit. Moving on to November. November is all about that final release and emotional wisdom. It's a karmic clearing. Endings may occur, but it is purposeful. This is a time to shed illusions, forgive deeply, and accept what is. This is the final sweep before renewal. Now, December. This is the new soul vision. You're closing the year with a renewed sense of self. After so much internal work, now you glimpse what's next. A seed is planted, and it may take root next year. But it's alive now. So, personal year 7 is all about inner reflection, spiritual awakening, and seeking truth. This year will ask you to retreat inward, to reassess your life's direction, and to discover deeper meaning and fulfillment. While the external world may feel less active, the inner work that you do this year will set the stage for greater clarity and purpose in the years to come. This is your time to heal, reflect, and grow spiritually, emotionally, and intellectually. So take the time to connect with your inner wisdom and trust that the universe is guiding you towards the answers that you seek. If you've enjoyed today's video, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And let me know what you're looking forward to in your personal year 7.